Here we are, week number 1 in this 10-week series, Becoming Like Jesus. Remember, this content isn't supposed to take up the entire time of your group being together. The goal is that you spend about maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes going through this content with your students, and the rest, have fun, be relational, and make those deep, meaningful relationships. I'm going to say that at the beginning of every one of these so you remember that the goal of this is to partner relationship with understanding Jesus more in discipleship. So, in week number 1, the topic is know what God has done for you. The passage, Romans 12:1, and so, dear brothers and sisters, I plead with you to give your bodies to God because of all he has done for you. Let them be a living and holy sacrifice, the kind he will find acceptable. This is truly the way to worship him. Group leaders, now is a moment for personal application. Share one thing God has done for you and know how that made you feel. Expound on how you, as a follower of Jesus, choose to live a life that he, being Jesus, finds acceptable and why. The goal for the personal application, you can make this whatever you want to make it that, but the goal is that you make that verse personal to you. Be transparent, open up, allow them to see how you take scripture and put it into your life and then apply it. Use some personal examples of how you did that practically so that they can have a model of how to do it themselves. When it comes to discussion questions, you can ask, has there been a time in your life where you realize God has done something for you? If students don't have examples, guess what? You're up. And if they don't recognize that God can do it even in the little things, make sure you share some of those little examples as well. How do we live a life that is acceptable to God? Now, that's a big question. We're not looking for them to come up with this deep theological answer. What we want them to land on, and what we want your group to land on, is simply this. What is pleasing and acceptable to God is pursuing him in relationship with him. The closing statement is when we recognize what God has done for us, it strengthens our relationship with him, helps us remember how much he loves and cares for us. And I'm going to go back, sorry, I skipped application. I'm going to go back to it right now. The application is, as a group, let's commit to waking up each day, speaking out loud, journaling, or telling someone in our family at least one thing you recognize God has done for you. The reason why we want this very practical application is so that, again, when students go out of group, step in the car, their parents are going to have this application to talk through with them as well. So as a group, this might mean that you have a group text, and each morning you text one thing that you're grateful for. And you persist that everyone does it. You'll have that one student that does it. You call them, you text them, and then you can even text their parents and say, hey, they didn't let me know the one thing they're thankful for today. We want to do this because of what it creates in the lives of young people. It creates a heart of gratitude, and gratitude often leads to a deeper relationship with Jesus.